The enemy to friends. Princess and witch. The castle was silent. Too silent. Princess Ilara walked the dark corridor, her gown brushing the cold stone floor. Her fingers grazed the walls, tracing cracks that felt sharp and jagged. The air was heavy, thick with the smell of smoke and damp earth. Her heart pounded as she reached the old tower door. This was the witch's chamber. Her sworn enemy. The one her kingdom feared. The one she had been taught to hate. Ilara pushed the door open. It groaned like a wounded animal. Inside, the room was dim. Candles burned low, their wax dripping like blood onto the wooden table. Strange bottles lined the shelves, glowing faintly with green light. The air stung her nose, sharp with the scent of herbs and iron. And then, she saw her. The witch. Sitting quietly, her eyes reflecting the candlelight. Cold. Unblinking. Ilara froze. Every tale she had heard came rushing back, stories of curses, storms, and stolen children. But this moment felt different. The witch was not casting spells. She was staring into a cracked mirror, her hand trembling slightly. The princess stepped forward. The floor creaked. The witch turned slowly, her gaze locking onto Ilara. A chill raced through the princess's spine. The witch whispered, her voice low and strained. "You should not have come here." The candles flickered violently. The bottles on the shelves rattled. And the tower itself seemed to breathe, pulling the air from the room. Ilara struggled to inhale, her chest tightening. She tried to speak, but her throat felt dry as ash. The witch rose from her chair, her shadow stretching unnaturally across the walls. Her eyes glowed faintly, like embers hidden in the dark. The princess's hands trembled. Her training told her to draw the dagger hidden at her waist. But something in the witch's face stopped her. Not anger. Not rage. Something else. A crack of sorrow. And in that moment of shock, the princess felt something she never expected. Pity. The witch stepped closer. Her footsteps echoed, slow and deliberate. Ilara's heartbeat quickened with every sound. The air grew colder, seeping into her skin. Her breath came out in white clouds. The witch's shadow reached her first, stretching over the princess like a shroud. Then came her voice. "You were sent to kill me, were you not?" Ilara's lips parted, but no sound came. The question hung in the air, heavy and sharp. The witch's gaze pierced her, searching deeper than eyes should ever see. Ilara's throat tightened. Her hand twitched at the dagger on her belt. But she did not draw it. Instead, she whispered, "No." The witch's eyes narrowed. Her hand lifted slowly. Not to strike, but to reveal. Her palm was scarred, the skin burned and broken. Ilara flinched at the sight. It was not the hand of a villain. It was the hand of someone who had suffered. The princess's mind reeled. This was not what she expected. Not what she was taught. Her discomfort grew stronger as the witch leaned closer. Her breath carried the scent of ash and herbs. Her voice trembled, almost breaking. "They call me monster. But they never told you why." The room shifted with her words. The mirror on the table cracked wider, splintering across its surface. The candles hissed, their flames stretching higher, then bowing low as if in fear. Ilara's chest tightened. Her instincts screamed at her to flee. But her feet held firm. She could not move. She would not move. And then, the witch touched her arm. The cold sank into Ilara's skin like ice. But beneath it, she felt something unexpected. A trembling. A weakness. The princess met the witch's eyes again. And for the first time, she saw tears forming there. The princess gasped softly. Tears. Real tears. Not the eyes of a monster, but of a woman carrying something far heavier. The witch's voice broke, quiet but sharp as glass. "They cheered when they crowned your father king. But his crown was forged from my family's blood." Ilara's heart lurched. The words cut through her like a blade. She stepped back, her body trembling. The tower seemed to close in around her, the air thick, pressing against her lungs. The witch's tears fell, streaking her pale face. Her hand clenched into a fist, shaking. "I was forced into exile. Branded as a curse. But I was never the villain. I was the sacrifice. The princess's vision blurred. Her throat tightened, and she struggled to swallow the weight of the truth. The floor creaked beneath her feet. She felt small, powerless. The stories of her childhood crumbled in her mind like ash. The witch turned away, her shadow long across the wall. The candles dimmed, leaving only one flame burning. Ilara's breath hitched. Her hand lifted slowly, against every instinct, against every warning. She reached for the witch's shoulder. Her fingers brushed the fabric, cold and rough. The witch stiffened. The silence was deafening. Then, the witch spoke again, her voice low, trembling with rage and grief. You came here seeking an enemy. But what you found was the truth. Ilara's stomach twisted. The room spun. Her crown, her title, her loyalty, all felt like chains tightening around her neck. She pulled her hand back, clutching it against her chest. And for the first time in her life, Princess Ilara felt fear. Not of the witch, but of the lies she had lived under. The witch turned slowly, her face half-lit by the lone candle. Her eyes no longer burned with fire. They burned with sorrow. Ilara's lips trembled. Her voice cracked as she whispered, "If what you say is true, then everything I know is false." The witch stepped closer. Her shadow merged with the princess's. Her words came out like a spell, low and unshakable. Your crown is built upon betrayal. Your kingdom drinks from a poisoned well. And you are heir to that poison. Ilara staggered back. Her stomach clenched. The taste of iron filled her mouth, though she had bitten nothing. Her throat tightened, dry and aching. The chamber walls seemed to breathe again, pressing inward, suffocating her. The witch raised her hand. The cracked mirror shuddered. Its shards trembled, then lifted into the air. Each piece spun slowly, reflecting Ilara's pale face from 100 angles. In every reflection, her crown appeared darker, sharper, twisted. Ilara's breath quickened. The mirror shards circled her, cutting the air with a hiss. Her pulse roared in her ears. The witch's voice deepened. Look into the glass, princess. See what you truly are. Ilara forced her eyes upward. Her reflection glared back. But her face was not her own. Her eyes glowed red. Her skin cracked with black lines. Her crown had melted into her flesh, jagged and cruel. She gasped, stumbling, clutching her chest. Her body shook with terror. No, this is not me. The witch's hand lowered. The shards dropped to the ground with a deafening crash. The candlelight flickered wildly, shadows racing across the room. The witch's voice softened, breaking. It was me once. It will be you now, unless you choose differently. Ilara's heart thundered. Her fear burned into something else. A choice. A test. Her life, her kingdom, her truth. All balanced in this single moment. The princess stood frozen. Her lungs burned as if the air itself had turned to fire. The witch's words pressed against her skull. Unless you choose differently. Ilara's trembling hands curled into fists. Her mind screamed at her to run. To escape the tower, to bury these truths, to return to the comfort of lies. But her heart whispered otherwise. The witch's scarred face reflected in her eyes. Not a monster. Not an enemy. But a survivor. Ilara took a shaky breath. Then another. Her voice came soft, uncertain, but filled with something new. Then teach me. Show me the truth. The witch's eyes widened. For the first time, her mask of steel cracked. Her lips parted, but no sound came. She had expected anger, hatred, perhaps even death. But not this. Not the hand of the enemy reaching toward her. The candlelight steadied, glowing warmer. The air loosened, no longer suffocating. Ilara stepped closer, her fear still trembling inside her bones, but her will stronger. The witch whispered, her voice fragile. You would betray your crown, for me. Ilara shook her head. Not for you. For what is right. Silence stretched. The witch's hand lifted slowly, hovering in the air. Ilara reached out. Their fingers touched. Kalt mit warmth. And in that fragile touch, something shifted. Not spell. not curse. Something stronger. The tower, once heavy with dread, felt lighter. The broken mirror lay scattered on the floor, but in their reflection together, a new image formed. Princess and witch. Enemies no more. Bound by truth. Bound by choice. The tower groaned. A deep rumble spread through the stone walls, as if the chamber itself resisted their union. Dust rained from the ceiling. The candle flame bent sideways, nearly extinguished. The witch's eyes darted upward, fear flashing in her gaze. No, it feels us. Ilara's chest tightened. What feels us? The witch gripped her hand tighter. The kingdom itself. The lies are not only words. They are alive. The floor shuddered violently. The shards of broken mirror scattered across the ground began to twitch. Then they rose. Dozens of jagged pieces lifted into the air, spinning like blades. Ilara gasped, shielding her face. The shards circled them both, forming a whirling storm of glass. Each reflection twisted their images. Ilara as a hollow queen, her crown fused to her skull. The witch as a burning monster, her skin split by fire. Ilara's stomach churned. Her voice shook. This is what they want us to believe. The witch's voice broke into a growl. And if we believe it, it becomes real. The shards drew closer. One sliced across Ilara's cheek. A thin line of blood warmed her skin. She staggered, but the witch pulled her back upright. Do not give in. The storm of glass screamed louder, the reflections snarling with false faces. Ilara shut her eyes, heart racing. Her hand clenched tighter around the witch's. And she whispered, "You are not my enemy." The words cut through the storm. The shards froze in midair. Ilara opened her eyes. The witch was staring at her, stunned, breathless. The storm collapsed. The shards rained down, harmless, clattering across the stone floor. The air cleared. The tower stilled. For the first time, silence felt safe. The witch let out a shuddering breath. Her eyes glistened with tears again, but this time, they were not sorrow. They were relief. Enemies no more. Something new had begun. The storm had ended. The tower stood quiet, as if holding its breath. Princess Ilara released her trembling hand from the witch's grip, but the warmth of that touch lingered. No longer chains. No longer enemies. Two souls bound by truth. The witch turned toward the broken window. Beyond the horizon, the kingdom's golden spires glittered in the distance. But to Ilara, they no longer shone with pride. They shone with secrets. The witch's voice carried softly through the silence. They will never forgive you for standing beside me. Ilara lifted her chin, steady and resolute. Then let them learn to see differently. I will not carry their lies. I will walk my own path. The witch studied her, eyes searching, almost disbelieving. And then, slowly, she nodded. For the first time, her lips curved into the faintest smile. It was not the smile of victory. It was the smile of survival. Together, they stepped from the ruined chamber. Side by side. The shadows no longer threatened. The air no longer suffocated. And though the road ahead was uncertain, filled with danger and defiance, they walked it as something greater than enemies. They walked it as friends. And perhaps, just perhaps, as sisters in destiny.